What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the vlog. In today's video, we are going to be doing a long exposure levitating portal. Yeah, something like that. It should be pretty fun. I'm going to walk you guys through my creative process of how I pull off these long exposure photos. So probably the question I get asked more than any other question is, why am I not in the image? When I'm waving the light around, why doesn't my body show in that final result? The reason I'm not in it is because I'm not bright enough to show up while I'm moving around. Especially when I'm holding a super bright light, the camera's going to pick up that bright light and it's not going to even recognize that I'm in the image. Second question that I get asked all the time is, why doesn't the behind the scenes match the final results? A lot of the times what looks good in the behind the scenes doesn't really make sense for the photograph. The person filming the behind the scenes might walk in front of the camera. We might want to get a different angle that it gets in our way or cast a shadow. There's just always something that doesn't make perfect sense for us to do both at the same time. Plus we shoot like 20 to 30 photos whenever we're doing this. So to film the behind the scenes 20 to 30 times to capture every single photo to get the perfect final result that matches up perfectly just doesn't make sense for us to do. Sometimes we decide other poses look better after we already filmed the behind the scenes too. With that being said, the sunset is setting right now, so it's perfect lighting to go get set up and go shoot this levitating portal. So let's go do it. We're just looking for the perfect spot. We also need enough room to run around Sarah while she's in pose levitating. This might be a decent spot where we can kind of have her sit right there and I can kind of run around her in a circle like that. Then put your arm up. That looks sick. So since it's gonna be extremely difficult for Sarah to hold that pose while I walk around her creating the portal for 6 to 8 seconds long, what we'll probably end up doing is just hold a light over Sarah, take the photo of just her, and then try to make the portal around her after that, and then combine the two images in Photoshop. We are getting ate alive by some tiny little gnats out here. I am getting bit by no-can-see-ums. Sons of. Yeah, it's not fun at all. This is how hectic behind the scenes gets. All right, let's go.
Okay, so to walk you guys through exactly what's going on here, basically we're starting by taking a classic levitating photo. The first photo is our posing shot, so we tried a bunch of different poses and then we removed our model and stool and then just took a photo of the background. By the way, you will need a tripod for this as the photos have to match up perfectly for this effect to work. Next, we attempted our long exposure photo. I still kept our model in position so I knew how to shape the portal better, plus I wanted to make sure everything would match up perfectly. We tried it out about a dozen times before wrapping up the shoot.
Okay, back at the casa now. Before we hop into this and start editing our photos, I would like to take a quick second to thank our sponsor of this week's video, Canva. Canva is actually a free website. Anyone can use it and use its features, but they also offer a pro version of Canva, which gives you access to a whole bunch of really cool exclusive features. For $12.99 a month, you and up to 5 team members or friends can use Canva Pro. So split that amongst your friends and it's really only like $2.50 a month. Other than unlocking features like pro text, pro graphics, and stuff like that, there's also magic resize, which can resize the dimensions of your canvas to basically anything. So if you're making a YouTube thumbnail and you want to turn that into an Instagram story post, you just click resize and then bam, you have an Instagram story to promote your YouTube video. There's also a brand kit which keeps all of your colors, fonts, and branding all in one organized section, and a content planner that allows you to pick specific dates on a calendar and it will post for you and get all your posts nice and organized. And my personal favorite, I don't know how Canva does this, but you click remove background and literally in a matter of seconds your background is just removed and it's just you or your talent or your model perfectly cut out from your background. If you're not sure if you want to spend the money on it yet, don't worry, you can get a 45 free day trial. Link is in the description box below. But anyway, let's dive into these long exposure photos. Okay, so I picked out the best photos of the shoot. Right here I have the best long exposure shot that I have, and then right here I have the best shot of my model, and then I have the stool replacement where we're going to be erasing the stool she was standing on, and then I have the alley replacement. So I'm going to drag my model photo in. Shot number 2 is going to be the stool replacement shot. So if we drag our model image above the stool replacement image and zoom in as far as we can go, then we're gonna whip out our eraser tool, make it nice and small so we can get pretty precise with this. And we're just going to erase that stool. And it's honestly that easy. As you can see, it kind of looks blurry. And that's just because I shot at a different aperture, so it was a little bit blurrier. I should have timed this. This is taking me just a matter of seconds to do. That had to take me less than 30 seconds. That was so quick. So now that there's not a stool in there, Allie's still, of course, holding the light. And if you're wondering, Kyle, why didn't you just stand a step or two over so the light and Allie wouldn't be in the shot? Well, I really wanted that light to be right over our model, so it created the exact lighting of that portal. So if that portal was actually there, and this was a real life portal, and she was levitating up into that portal, then the light is going to be shining directly down on top of her. Next shot we need is the Allie replacement image. So I'm gonna pull that in. So I'm gonna erase everything in this image except for this little middle section over to the left side. That's where Allie was standing. Now she's just levitating, honestly, as is. That's kind of a pretty cool shot. So now for the moment you've all been waiting for, the long exposure shot. So I'm gonna drag that in. We're gonna zoom in and really take a look at this. You can see her hands. There's just so much motion blur. Her feet are just like a blur. They almost look like a shadow. Her head was even pretty out of focus. Just being like this, crunching your abs and trying not to move while you're getting eaten alive by blood-sucking gnats is just, it's really hard to do. I'm surprised she even did that good. I think it was, what was this, like an 8-second long exposure? Now we can come in here and we can erase that bottom level just like that. I have an idea of how I can make this better. I'm just gonna take my paintbrush, I'm just gonna put it on black. I'll put the opacity down to like 20%. And now I'm just going to draw in the middle of the portal, and I'm just trying to make it look a lot darker. So that way it looks like there's more of an opening inside of the portal. All right, that looks much better already. You could probably spend a lot more time perfecting that and kind of going around the edges and making that look a lot more precise. But overall, that is how I'm editing this photo. It's always nice when you don't have to drag stuff in Photoshop, when you can just do a long exposure photo and have it just work out. But there's definitely times when that becomes really tricky to do. So to be able to kind of morph a couple images together is pretty helpful to know. By the way, I know it's only January, but we are on a mission to get to 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. In 2020, we reached over 1 million followers on TikTok. In 2021, we did it on Instagram. So now year 3 times in a row, can we do it? We want to get 1 million YouTube subscribers. That is the goal. That is the mission for the year. So please help us get there by subscribing. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Make sure to get your 45 days of free Canva Pro down in the link below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace. Whoosh.